Hey, did y'all miss me? Back at it again with another vlog. So, I know you guys are probably wondering what we're talking about today. I am still in organization mode, getting my life ready and geared up for action in 2022. I am going to discuss a couple of different components of the final piece with you guys. I am going to talk about reinforcement, or another term for reinforcement in the field of ABA is motivating operations. So we're going to talk about what that is, what it looks like, and then also programming and behaviors and shaping behavior. So stay tuned. Hey, so it is Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, still moving into the year of action. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to use this last day of my winter vacation. This snow day is snowing here in the Midwest. So I am going to organize a little bit. I'm going to organize this stuff over here that you see. And then I have some other stuff before me. This is all things related to my company, the Final Piece LLC. So I figured I would sort toys that I use for my clients and kind of tell you how they would be used. So first, backdrop. I have discussed this a couple times, but I wanted to give a brief explanation for those that are returning. I have one company that specializes in training, skills training, to say the least, for those with diverse needs. This company is a part of the Peaceful brand. It is called the Final Piece LLC. What we do is executive skills training, essentially. So basically, any skills that a learner may lack or maybe a bit behind or delayed in, we work with them to increase preferred behaviors. You probably are wondering, how do you increase behaviors and what is a preferred behavior? So preferred behaviors are behaviors that we want to see more of, more appropriate behaviors, more appropriate forms of communication, expressing oneself, eating properly, not being fixated on one type of food, broadening horizons when it comes to leisure skills. Those are different things that we work on with clients, behavior management, so on and so forth. With that being said, we are shaping those behaviors, so we have to reinforce. How do we reinforce or increase up those behaviors? We give them reinforcers. A reinforcer is something that you find valuable or tangible. It's an operation of behavior. It motivates you. So reinforcers is my first category. I kind of got started already. This right here, magic, y'all. Bubbles. Babies love bubbles. And I'm not saying babies as in little babies. Kiddos, I'll say, love bubbles. Any client that I've ever had, any kid that I've ever worked with, whether it be in an ABA clinic or in a school setting, this does the trick. Once you open these bubbles up and you tell them, good job, you done nice on that task, you pop that seal, they dig their fingers in there and they find that wand. That is pure joy, y'all. I'm over here spilling bubbles. But this would be a reinforcer. Other category, program materials. So anything that helps with programming that we may need to aid or assist, manipulatives that a learner may need, we got you covered. Everything is included in the services, and we just want to see your scholar, your learner, your kiddo improve. Get those executive functioning skills up, up, up. All right, so let's sort. And as we sort, I'm gonna chit chat. All chit chat that we have today will be in reference to business building for the final piece for 2022. What is my large, or my big picture, I should say, goal? Where do I see the final piece going? It's gonna blow up, y'all. I'm telling you here right now, that it's going to happen. Stay tuned. Don't say I didn't tell you. But the biggest area that I want to focus on this year is marketing, 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 marketing. One thing that I have learned is talk about your business. Talk about your business and talk about it. People will get tired of hearing it. They can scroll, click away, or unfollow you or whatever. But the person that needs to hear it is going to hear it, and that acceleration is going to go up there. So I got a lot of different knickknacks. So like this would be a good sensory option. It has different textures. And then also it teaches educational skills. So for example, if I was asking an interverbal, and interverbal is a question that needs a response to my client, I would say, you eat a, and let's say they're not at the stage of independent prompt, their prompt level is not independent, they can't independently respond. I would give them a visual prompt. You eat a, and I show them this, and they would say apple. So I could use it for that. Could use it for building. So you can build receptive language with this. Receptive language is me setting an expectation, and then my learner is showing me that they understand by doing what they are told to do. So if I give them these blocks and I say build a tower, and they build the tower, that is one, increasing their receptive language, but it's also, guess what, y'all, building leisure skills, because a lot of kiddos like blocks. But kids with diversities or differences, especially when you're talking about the field that I have experience with, kids on the autism spectrum, they do not have tons of different leisure activities. A lot of times you have to teach them appropriate social behavior. So this is a good way to do that. But for the purposes of what I'm using these for, I'm putting them in the programming bin. I also forgot to mention, y'all, I am giving stuff away as well. Things that I probably will not use. Oh no. Slime. This is another sensory activity. Kiddos love slime. That some of them like the feeling, the texture of it. I've seen some kiddos, they like to throw it at the wall and watch it slide off. That does something. So this will be reinforcement. We have another block that's going in programming. Y'all got tons and tons of stuff. A lot of sensory based things you're gonna see me pulling out. I'm gonna give you some examples. And while I'm giving you examples, I'm gonna tell you what I mean by sensory based. So things that feel good to touch. So like this sand, or like this molding clay, things that can be manipulated, silly putty. These are all win-wins for reinforcement. And it's also calming, so it can have that therapeutic agent, if you will. I got some moon sand. And look, it's just common to me too. Like, even look at that jiggle. That's calming to me. This is all going in our reinforcement bin. Reinforcement is key, y'all. Change behavior is only going to take place when you reinforce the behavior. Now, that reinforcement, unfortunately, can be negative or positive. So, what I mean by negative or positive, you can reinforce one's behavior so that you can see a change, an increase, or a decrease. So if you're doing something that is not appropriate, so for instance, if you are struggling with toilet training and you are wetting the bed, anytime that you go in the pot, I am going to heavily reinforce. So the way that you reinforce is going to be different for everybody. So it could be verbal praise, it could be edibles. So some kids like snacks, cookies, or little candies that they have. And I'm throwing these in here as I'm talking to you guys and trying to make sure I'm putting them in the right spot. So these dice are going in my programming box. I use these for math skills with a lot of my kiddos. Even when I was in the self-contained environment, I would use these same items that I use for my business with my scholars. So it is effective. You do see a change, but consistency and data should drive everything. You have to be consistent. A lot of times I've run into families that expect instantaneous growth. Or I've heard people say, oh, I don't too particularly see a change or a difference. The same amount of time that it took to create that behavior or that deficit in some cases, it can take that much time, if not more, to see a difference. So just be consistent and reinforce when you see change, and I guarantee you will see preferred behaviors escalate and put those unpreferred behaviors on extinction. Ball. This is a good parent skill, so I'm throwing that in the reinforcement. They're technically bath time toys, but I would get some water and then stick these bad boys and these rubber duckies in the water and have some water play with the client. So you see tons of reinforcement. When I hit the field of ABA, one of the key things that they talk about is pairing. Pairing is the process of building a rapport or a relationship with a client so that you can get more preferred responses because they find interaction with you desirable, fun, entertaining. So more reinforcement. So programming stuff, I wanted to work on motor skills per se. This right here does the trick. And it even says it on the back. Fine motor skills. So a lot of this stuff I'm showing you guys, that's the programming box, can be found on Amazon. A lot of these reinforcers, so stuff like this, these hand clappers, even like this clay or this putty, I got from places like Dollar Tree. You don't have to spend a lot when you're talking about like sensory toys like these. They come in packages on Amazon. This is something to manipulate and kind of keep the mind occupied. As you see, it's popping pieces out. This is something else that kiddos love, and I even now this year use these in my classroom as a comment agent working in the general education environment with scholars. They still love it. So this stuff is not just for people with diversities. So I put that in the reinforcement, even though that can be a coping skill as well, but that can run into programming. But some things that you teach in programming, you want to transfer over, and you don't want the kiddo to find it aversive. So you got to have a fine line between reinforcement and programming. So I'm getting my Post-it and my marker because I need to get a giveaway section going. And I would just donate these to my local Goodwill Salvation Army. So I wrote giveaway, put that off to the side, cap this Sharpie back up. So I kind of wanted to just show you a few items that you may see in the session with me. So whether it be programming or fun, I can do it all with your scholar. The Final Piece is here to get those skills intact, increase those executive functioning skills. So I will create another video if you guys are interested, going into more detail as to what those skills are, even maybe do a program with a client so that you guys can see what this looks like. Now, it won't be a real client. I probably will get someone to model for the privacy of individuals receiving services, but I want you guys to see this in real time. I did model for you guys, me giving instructions or prompts or SDs, as we say in the field, orally using those verbal prompts, and I was doing modeling, which is a form of prompt. Going, of course, we're always supposed to go at the level of the kid. So sometimes it's least to most or most to least, depending on ability level. But I want you guys to kind of see it in real time to make it make sense, because sometimes it's a lot to take in when you are not around these things every day. And though I am not currently physically in a clinic and I use these skills in my company, I still implement them in my classroom and even in my personal life, because you can shape your own behaviors as well. Everything that we've talked about up until this point is the same thing, but the difference is the program material is life. the lessons that we learn in life. And then the reinforcement or the motivating factors are the preferred responses that we get, so reactions from other people. A reinforcement would be you go to work and you get a check. These are different things that we see every day that we also do to shift and change behaviors or to reinforce behaviors that we already have that are acceptable and positive. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you guys are getting your organizational skills down pat. Remember, it is 2022, the year of action. What you want, go for it, and it will appear before you if it is in God's will for you. Blessings and peace. And I'm going to hop into this organization and get these things ready and packed up to be donated. Enjoy your week, guys. And remember, mindset is everything. And I'm out.